Tottenham can move into the Premier League's top four for a short while at least if they can overcome Luton on Saturday. It's live on talkSPORT at 3 o'clock. Spurs will need to show a marked improvement, of course, on their performance and saw them beaten with ease at Fulham before the international break. 3 points against the Hatters would take them above Villa, who play later on tomorrow. For more on this, let's bring in the former Spurs midfielder, Jermaine Jenas, who happens to join us all the way from Tokyo. How are you doing, Jermaine?
How you doing, Jermaine?
Yeah, it's good morning for you, isn't it, I think?
It is good morning. What is it with you? Good afternoon? Good evening?
I'll be honest, Natalie, I actually don't. My body doesn't know where it's at the minute. The jet lag's a bit insane, but yeah, I think it's about 3:40, something like that. It's a very interesting place.
Yeah, I've never been. Have you been to Tokyo, Ray?
No, I haven't. No, I'd love to go.
No, you should come. You should definitely come. It's amazing. It really is. So yeah, I'm really lucky to be here. Really.
Yeah. Well, you're out there for Formula E. But we'll mention that a little bit later on if that's all right. But we should really talk about football because, as we mentioned, Spurs hosting Luton tomorrow. That's live on talkSPORT. They had that fantastic victory over Aston Villa. You're hoping that they're going to follow that up with a similar performance, let's say, against Fulham. Didn't quite see that. How disappointing was that performance against Fulham?
It was more than disappointing. I think the amount of goals that they're conceding is just, and at the rate that they concede has been what's cost them most this year. I think, off the back of the Villa performance, there was that feeling of, right, kick on, go and secure that top four place. But, when you're battling it out for that top four, the thing is that people tend to forget about it, and fans in particular, is, there's a reason why you're battling it out for top four and not battling it out for the title. And it's because you don't have that consistency within your game. So, going to places like Fulham or, going away to any ground in the Premier League is a potential slip up. So it did surprise me because they look very solid, but it didn't surprise me on the basis that this is a top four challenge. We're not talking about a title challenge here. So both teams are going to slip up a lot between now and the end of the season. I still think Spurs will finish out in that Champions League spot though.
Jermaine, I've got to ask you, I think they're going to play a massive part in who wins the title as well. I mean, both Aston Villa and Spurs. I think Aston Villa play City, Liverpool and Arsenal, and same for Spurs. They play City, Liverpool and Arsenal. So I think both teams are going to be going for that fourth place, but going to have a big say in who wins that title this year, maybe.
Yeah, I just think, though, if you look at probably both teams, the results might not back it up, I'm not sure, but I know that from a performance perspective, they definitely play better within those games. The focus is there. There's no doubt that when Arsenal come to White Hart Lane for that game, the focus will be through the roof, as you know, Ray, because of the scenario that's going to be around it. But yeah, I think it'll be good for the team that those types of games are arriving. They're all probably going to be televised. There's going to be a lot of eyeballs on it and a lot of kind of people seeing what Spurs are about, and if they can have any type of impact against these types of teams to be able to take into maybe next season.
How impressed have you been with Ange Postecoglou?
I love him. I really do. I think I get sometimes people's frustration at certain games throughout the year, but when I look at him, I think, well, he offers everything with regards to the style of play of the team, the way that they have now become an aggressive team, play on the front foot, they play very attractive football. There is still a side to them that he needs to sort out, which is that sometimes naivety, I think, at times when conceding goals at the wrong times because of deciding to play the game, I suppose, a certain way when they shouldn't be, when they should just be locking down the game. It's like a growing up type phase. But I hope he's in the job for the next 5-10 years. I really do. I'm that impressed by him. I love everything that he stands for, and I think he's going to be great for the football club.
Well, someone you know really well, Jermaine Pennant, was on the sports bar last night. He thinks Liverpool should go for Ange Postecoglou. So come on then. What's your message to your mate, Jermaine?
Of course he does. Yeah. He just thinks everyone should just be walking to Anfield and just taking that job, doesn't he? He's just like, yeah. He won't be going anywhere near Liverpool, I don't think. Don't get it. It's they're a bigger football club. It's an amazing job, but I think he's just bedded himself in here. And I think that the only thing that I think would really, shake things up for Ange in the next 2 years, I would say, is if he starts getting told no by the ownership in terms of his plans of what he wants to do. That's the only thing that will shake it up. But I think he's proven to Daniel in particular, that he's going to be worth backing him. financially.
Jermaine, just a quick one on Newcastle, because I feel a little bit sorry for Eddie Howe. He's had lots of injuries this season. A lot of people said, oh, is he the right man? And there's been talk about would he stay at Newcastle. I thought it was very unlucky in the Champions League. That decision was awful against PSG. But a situation where he's had lots of injuries, probably he needs a little bit more time and a little bit more strength in depth in the squad itself to really kick on.
100%. I think that you have seasons like this every now and again. Obviously the financial restraints are making things far slower for them than it would have been for previous clubs, when big owners came in. So they've had the frustration of that, along with all of the injuries and star players being banned and so on and so forth. So it's difficult to, I suppose, have a go at Eddie Howe. I mean, they're starting around 10th at the minute in the league, which is not good enough, and he'll know that. But then there are some, there's some upsides. What he's done with players like Tino Livramento, bringing him in. What's his value right now? Lewis Miley in midfield, the development of a brand new player they brought out of the academy, and he's played in Champions League games and massive games at St James's Park, and he's come through with flying colours. And I think it's just going to be one of those years that they have to just look at and just kind of go, right, it was a strange year. We had a lot of games, and within those games, we didn't have the depth of squad to handle the situation, and they basically ran out of steam and have kind of lost their way a little bit within the season. But from my point of view, there definitely shouldn't be any calls for Eddie to lose his job anyway. I really hope he stays for a long time, because I think he's doing a brilliant job there.
We should just ask you quickly then about Formula E. It's your new role. How are you enjoying it, hosting it for TNT?
Yeah, it's interesting that it's a different experience altogether from obviously hosting or being a pundit in football. It's been a lot easier, but then you come into Formula E and it's a brand new sport. I've always been an F1 fan anyway, so when I got the opportunity to do it, it was just like, right, get your teeth into it, learn what you need to learn. I think that's where the sport itself has been great. The drivers, the teams, the company I'm working for as well has been very supportive and in making sure that I can, I suppose, deliver the best product. And I've done, Sao Paulo, I've done Mexico, Saudi Arabia. We had a double header there. So here now in Tokyo for our 5th race of the year. And I mean, this city is built for it. I mean, like a race in the middle of the city in Tokyo just sounds really cool anyway. So it's going to be an interesting one. But the season's starting to get, tight at the top of the table, should we say.
How many races are there, Jermaine, in total?
There'll be, I think there's 15, no, maybe there's 22, I think there is, because they do double headers somewhere, so I'm just trying to do the maths. Because some of the tracks that we'll go to, they'll have a race on the Friday and the Saturday.
Yes.
And then we come home. So, yeah, I think it's 18. You'll have to correct me on that one, I'm sure.
So you're getting plenty of stamps.
You know what I'm doing, Ray? I'm doing the old, I'm taking it game by game.
Do you know what? You're getting plenty of stamps on your passport.
I was thinking that. I was thinking that same thing.
Oh, yeah. I had to get the extra thick one.
Well, listen, enjoy it out in Tokyo, and thanks for joining us.
Cheers, Jermaine.
Really appreciate that.
No, thanks for your time. Appreciate it, guys. Have a nice morning.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.